Hi grade threes. I thought I would try to set up a little lesson area here in my bedroom so we could talk about persuasive writing because I'd like you to do some persuasive writing this week. So one way to organize your ideas when you are writing a paragraph or a letter about your opinion and you're trying to persuade someone to see things your way is to use the word Oreo. So you can kind of think of it like an Oreo cookie, Oreo. So just like the cookie, you're gonna start with the cookie part at the top, the two O's, your opinion, and then you got some creamy, interesting details in the middle. So for the Oreo technique, we start with stating our opinion. Then you wanna make sure as you're writing your persuasive text that you're including some reasons. When we're writing a paragraph, I try to do maybe about 3 reasons, at least 3. And then you want to try to add some examples that go along with those reasons. And when you finish your writing, you want to finish with your opinion again because you want your audience, whoever you're writing this to, whether you're trying to persuade a friend or a teacher or a parent, you really want them to be reminded of your opinion again at the end. So I thought today I'll put this here, put my jewelry box there and try to make it so it stays up so you can see it. Okay, hopefully it'll stay. So I've started, there's so many things you can pick that you can write about, so many different ideas. So I picked, I think that Christmas is the best holiday. So there's my opinion. So I wrote that in blue so it kind of matched. So I'm going to start with one of my reasons. So one of my reasons that I really like Christmas and I think it's the most fun time of the year is that I get to see family members. And not just family members that I live with all the time, but people I might not see often, like aunts or uncles or cousins. So I'm going to write my reason then. So I'm going to kind of organize it. I might put a word like first. So first or firstly, either one, I get to see my whole family at Christmas. And so I think I might even add an exclamation mark because that makes me so happy to see family members I don't see very often. So I'm going to take my green just to kind of go around along with the examples. So I might add an example of what family members I'm talking about. So maybe I'm thinking about some cousins who live far away and I don't see them much through the year. So I want to follow my example. So with this from the reason. So first I get to see my whole family at Christmas. So I might say, I love seeing my cousins. They live far away, but they always come over on Christmas Day, or maybe it could be Christmas Eve, whatever I wanted to write there, on Christmas Day. So that's an example of why I'm so happy about this reason. So I put my example. So now I want to do another reason. So my next reason could be something that most of us really like, especially children, is of course that there's gift giving. Right? So I might continue with a word that will be a nice linking or connecting word like secondly or also. So secondly, we give gifts at Christmas. So the gifts, of course, is a very fun part of Christmas, and I want to give an example of how I feel. So secondly, we give gifts at Christmas. And so one of the things that I know I loved, especially when I was younger, was I'd make a list and you'd wait and you'd really, really hope and and Christmas Day would come and you would get to see if you got what you were wishing for. So again, I might say it is so fun opening my presents on Christmas. Maybe it might be Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or just sometime on Christmas, but I think I'll put, it is so fun opening my presents on Christmas morning. And you could add more to your example if you want. I could just leave it there, or I could say something like, I'm always so happy to get new gifts, or I might say something, I wished all year for a new bike and I got it last year. So you could make your reasons, your examples longer if you want, but you don't have to. So I want to give at least one more reason, because we want at least 3 reasons. So since this is my last reason, I'm going to put finally, so my audience knows I'm kind of wrapping up what I'm saying. So I'm going to write finally, and when we have those linking words, we have a little bit of a comma there. So finally, one thing that I know I personally like is just, it's so cozy with all the lights and the decorations. So I'm going to include that as my final reason. So finally, there are beautiful lights and decorations there are beautiful lights and decorations. I could say specifically in my house or at school, or maybe I'll just say all around the city. Finally, there are beautiful lights and decorations all around the city. There we go. So now I want to give a little bit of an example. I don't have too much space here, but we'll try to get it in. So I'm going to just focus on the decorations in my own house. And I know myself, I love decorating our Christmas tree and putting ornaments exactly where I want them. And sometimes my kids put them where they want them, and later I move them, but we won't tell them that. So I'm going to say now I've already used I love over here. So I might try to use some different words just to make it interesting. So I might say I really enjoy. I really enjoy decorating my Christmas tree. So I have got my opinion at the beginning. I gave at least 3 reasons. I tried to put some little examples to go along with those reasons. So now I'm at the bottom of my Oreo cookie. Again, I want to have my opinion. So I don't want to say the exact same sentence I said earlier. So at the beginning, I said, I think that Christmas is the best holiday. So I want it to be a little bit different at the end. So I'll still include that Christmas. Something about Christmas is, instead of saying it's the best holiday, I might reword it and say, I think, or I feel. Ooh, that would be a different way than saying I think again. I feel that Christmas is the most fun time of the year, or the most amazing time of the year. Ooh, that might be, I think I like that last one. So I'm going to put, I feel, my app's a little funny there, okay. Hopefully you can still see it at the bottom here. I feel that Christmas is the most amazing, just fitting in here, amazing time of the year. And I think I'm going to end with an exclamation mark. There we go. And as we do in class, I always like to go back and read what I've written, because many times we know in class, I've done this where I have these ideas in my mind and I'm writing them down so quickly that sometimes a word that was in my mind doesn't quite make it down to the sheet. So I want to go back and I want to look for, of course, making sure I included my opinion, reasons, example, and opinion again. I want to make sure I have capitals and periods, spaces between the words, and of course, hopefully my spelling I've checked. But also that I didn't leave any words out, because that happens to me a lot. I know quite a few times we've seen that happen. So I was so excited with my ideas that when I wrote it down, I might leave out, or what we call omit, a word. So I always want to read over my work, no matter what I do before I hand it in. So I think that Christmas is the best holiday. First, I get to see my whole family at Christmas. I love seeing my cousins. They live far away, but they always come over on Christmas Day. Secondly, we give gifts at Christmas. It is so fun opening my presents on Christmas morning. Finally, there are beautiful lights and decorations all around the city. I really enjoy I see that. Forgot something else. Is decorating. I'm thinking, what is that? I meant decorating. There we go. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix that. Decorating. So there we go. Oh, my R looks funny. Let's fix that again. It's a little hard here. Okay. I really enjoy decorating my Christmas tree. I feel that Christmas is the most amazing time of the year. And there we go. So today, when you're writing your persuasive paragraph, I want you to try to remember the OREO when you do this. So think of the word OREO. You're going to write your opinion, what you feel, okay, strongly about. You want to include your reasons, and you want to try to put some examples with your reasons, as I did here. And then at the end, you want to finish with your opinion again. You want to state it a little bit differently, but it's the same idea. You just want to change the words around a little bit, and make sure you finish off with a nice strong sentence so your audience, whoever you're writing this to persuade them to agree with you and to agree with your opinion, let them know how strongly you feel at the end with your opinion. Okay? All right, I look forward to reading all of your persuasive writing. Thanks for listening.